Alright, so, I'm gonna pick up from where I left off last time with the, Nazarick, or Naz, whatever, adventure thing that's continued on to several different quests now. This one is called If She No Longer Dreams of You. So let's see what happens here.
Keep up.
Hide and seek, where did Mary and her friends go? To a great sea without borders, to the place from which all lives flow. Hey there. Oh, hi. I'm sorry, I was just preparing some tea and didn't notice you. Come, sit. Snacks will be ready soon. I'm sorry, I was just preparing some tea and didn't notice you. Oh, it just didn't switch over. Okay. Oh, snacks. Yes, and ours are very good. Ah, but I must say this first. We can only start once the bell rings. It'd be quite rude to do otherwise. Where are you from, by the way? Why, you are a fascinating combination, aren't you? A handsome young man, a small little oceanid, and your beautiful floating friend. Paimon's Paimon, and he's Traveler. Huh, is it just Paimon or does Anne look unhappy? She might have remembered, or she might have been reminded of something. Oh, and this ocean is our friend, Anne. Oh my, a fine name indeed. In that case, please call me Mary Ann. Mary Ann? I'm sure we've heard this name before. My, what a pleasant surprise. It has been a long time since I've met someone from outside. Where are you from? Well, we're... Actually, Paimon's not sure either. We defeated the Fell Dragon Narcissus and then we ended up here somehow. The Fell Dragon Narcissus, you say? That must have been a frightening foe. Did you think so, Traveler? In a manner of speaking, I suppose. My, I've heard that Narcissus has hurt many and has turned many kingdoms to ash. Defeating him was an impressive feat indeed. Oh, so you know about him, too. Great! We're from the Narzazurn Crew's kingdom, and we're looking for a Princess Lyris. Do you know where we might find her? Princess Lyris, you say? I'm afraid I do not know. But she should be here. Is that the case, Anne? But I've lived here for a long, long time, and yet I have never seen any princess. Perhaps she might have been somewhere else, or might be somewhere else? Is that so? But before we came here, we read a book about that princess, and how she's beautiful and kind and stuff. I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with any such person. On the flip side, you, Traveler, do quite look like a prince from a distant land. You hear the sound of a bell. Eh? Is that the bell? Yes, that's the signal for tea time. In the past, the children would throw down their wooden sword the moment they heard this bell, and they would come into the hall to have snacks. They're not here now, but I think it is best to follow the rules all the same. They'd be quite disappointed otherwise, I suspect. Well then, shall we? Thanks, but I'm not hungry at the moment. Hehe, in that case, your share's Paimon's. Paimon happily digs in. As you watch her enjoy the snack, you find yourself feeling a little peckish, too. How were they? Well, they were great, although Paimon couldn't really taste them. Are you on a low-sugar diet or something, Marianne? My apologies, Paimon. I just made them as I remembered them, so I'm not really sure if they'll taste all that good. Oh, don't worry about it. At least Paimon's full now. Well, in that case, let me take you all out on a stroll. This is a flower garden that we've painstakingly taken care of. Lovely, isn't it? I've heard Basil say that caring for children is like caring for a flower. You need good soil, sufficient sunlight, frequent watering, and you can't let them grow however they want. Sounds like this Basil is pretty smart. In fact, we must get rid of pests from time to time as well. Actually, Basil sounds pretty dangerous too. She is very capable indeed. Making snacks, caring for flowers, she can do it all. It would be nice if I could introduce her to you. I've been caring for the flowers here all this time, and in the hopes that some friends might come and I might show them how they have bloomed. And well, here you are. Well, it's a shame they aren't in bloom right now, though. Well, we just need to water them and they'll be fine. Hide and seek, hide and seek. Where did Mary and her friends go? To the halls of sea-born foam to watch the sunflowers in bloom. As the drops of water stain the soil of the ground black, the sunflowers sprout forth from the earth, grow quickly, and bloom. Aren't they beautiful? That was quick! Well, they've been waiting for friends to arrive, after all, and with your arrival, they were so excited. All they needed then was a little encouragement, a little rain to get them going. Huh? So that's how it is. Nature really is amazing, huh? I suspect this exceeds the realm of amazing. Do you like them, Anne? They're very beautiful, like gleaming gold. I knew you would. I love them too, after all. You're from a very, very far away place, aren't you, traveler? What sort of flowers bloom there? Describe the flowers your sister wears in her hair. Those do sound like lovely flowers. But I fear that they'll be hard to find now. Traveler, then let us speak of other flowers. I've always been in Fontaine. I've never gone elsewhere. That said, a friend of mine has been to Sumeru. I heard from him that there are many flowers there that can't be found anywhere, or can't be found here. Those that grow on cliffs, ones that only open at night, some even grow on cacti. And that's when he realized that there were no cacti in Fontaine and had to give me a separate explanation. He was always the serious sort, and he was the smartest of us when we were young. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. It must be a little too exciting for me, meeting new friends like this. Well then, Paimon, have you seen any special flowers? Mondstadt's dandelions come to mind. Dandelions? Oh, do you have any of their delightful seeds with you? Well, we might. Dandelion, dandelions, bloom, bloom, bloom. Dandelion seeds can indeed be found on Paimon. Marianne happily plants them in the soil. Ah, yes. What sort of flower is a dandelion? Paimon thought you knew. Well, how should we put this? The dandelion flower is made of many little white flowers, and these white flowers have seeds on them. When the wind blows, these tiny flowers will scatter along with the wind, and they will take root and sprout elsewhere, eventually making new flowers. Cool, huh? Wow, they really are. I didn't know such a flower existed, but I have heard about something similar. Oh, what sort of flower is that? It's not a flower, but it's a story about water. In a certain place, there was a peaceful body of water. Later, with disturbance, there came ripples, and droplets appeared in those ripples, droplets that had life in them. This life left the water and turned into different forms. But though they were all made of water, gulfs opened between them due to these differences. Each drop of life was very weak, but each was beautiful in its own way. Dandelions you spoke of, Paimon, remind me a lot of that story. A flower that was once united as one would be separated, would bloom, and each piece would become itself. But a single drop of water is weak and will dry up easily. Together they will be strong, and yet they will no longer be themselves. Is that how it is with dandelions, too? Do you think that's a good thing? Paimon doesn't really get it. What do you think, traveler? People can unite and yet maintain their personhood. Can they really? I think I understand where you're coming from, traveler. What are you talking about sounds like what happened to Al, Petit, Chew, and the others. To help us, they melded into one, turning into that big bubble. Yes, I still remember. Though it might be meaningless to say this now. Let's have a little walk again, shall we? Ah, yes, I can take you to see our dog. Feed the dog. Noble sir, it is an honor to receive food from you. A pleasure to see you again as well, Miss Marianne. Oh, you good doggy. Good doggy? And how do you do, dear little miss? Well, thanks for being polite and all, but... And what's going on? I don't know, but this can't be Maury. He has always kept me company. Does this mean that we've been wrong all along about what dogs really look like? Don't fuss over the details too much. Water can take any shape, and life can choose what form it must take. This, however, has nothing to do with its essence. That is a different matter. Ah, didn't Al say something similarly weird? I heard something similarly said, that the body is a prison that restricts evolution. That person was once a child, like all the others. We and many others heard him tell many stories about how life was originally formless like water, and how there were no barriers between souls, thus allowing them to compose an endless story. Many have forsaken their bodies, for if water can be withdrawn from blood, so too can will be drawn out from one's form. But if you were to try to sprinkle water on the blackened dust that remains, it will not become blood again. Anne? I remembered something, even though I really didn't want to. How much do you remember, Anne? I don't know. That's just this flood of feelings and scenes, happy words and angry ones. I'm not sure. I understand. You go first, all right? Remember, be a good dog. Understood. See you, Miss Marianne. See you, dear guests. Oh, this is bad. Number of things that don't make sense just keeps going up. If we hadn't seen the dog, Paimon would have forgotten all that stuff already. Didn't we say we were going to rescue Princess Lyris? That's right. My apologies, but there is no princess here. Only us. Today we are simply fortunate to receive guests. But this is the end of the path. She has to be here. But Marianne said... so that's gotta mean that one of you is mistaken, right? Right, traveler? Do you really want to hear what I have to say? Of course, you've got the bigger brain here, don't you? Paimon, all we experienced so far was just a story. Wait, but didn't we team up with the NARS Adventure team to defeat Narcissus' henchmen? Wasn't that real? Think about it for a moment, Paimon. Is there even a Narzijan Crew's kingdom amongst the 7 nations? Huh? You're right. Paimon didn't think of that. So the adventure team, Al, Petit Chou, Colonel, Kate, Jake, Maury, the 2 of us, and our adventures, they were all just characters in a story? No, that can't be. Paimon can't accept that. Didn't we encounter all kinds of stuff after going through the portal in the tower? There's a lot of stuff there that wouldn't fit for if this was just a story. You know, like how there was no Holy Blade mentioned at the start and how a sealed tower still had monsters and bubble formations inside it? Paimon, I think I understand what Traveler is trying to say. So all the things that happen after we ascend the tower are things outside the realm of the story. Is that right? More accurately, those parts of the story have not yet been written. So the Holy Blade, Narcissus, these were still inside the story, so they had not been arranged correctly yet. Paimon still finds it hard to imagine anyone who would create such a huge building just for a story. I believe the structure already existed. It was just used as a setting for the story. So that means that the things I recalled along the way were things that happened here before, and I'm just a character in a story? You're not merely a character. The fact that you can think about this means that you can remember it. But if that's the case, who is Anne? I am Anne. I must rescue Princess Lyris. All right, Traveler, Paimon, and dearest Anne. Our time is up. I enjoyed our time together, but I'm afraid it is time for you to leave. Why did you have to say it was fiction if you already knew? Spare a thought for Anne's feelings, at least. Huh? We get sent back to the tower? Question mark? What happened? But shh, there's no need to say anything, Anne. I once heard my best friend tell a story about a beautiful princess trapped in a high tower. Before you arrived, I had a dream. I dreamed that I was a small, brave Oceanid, and we set out to save the princess. And perhaps there are princesses in this world, and dragons too, but I also know that the world's affairs are rarely this simple. Why would a dragon be concerned with a princess, after all? After waking up, I would find this dream laughable, not yet nostalgic. Every time I thought about it, do you remember now, Anne? No, there has to be some other way. If I can't save Princess Lyris, then what of my birth? My only wish, do they have no meaning? Don't say that, Anne. Your birth was a beautiful accident. As things stand, I can only wish for you to live on for your own sake. Go, see the world, and see how it has changed these past years. I wish for you to have your own soul, memories, personality, and wishes. I wish for you to be the master of your own fate and to experience all the beauty of the real world. Can you do that for me? It was a pleasure to meet you, Traveler, Paimon, and it was a pleasure to meet you too, Anne. But the Anapasis is our tomb. I do not wish for you to linger here. Marianne, why are you saying that? We can find a way to help you, can't we? I sense that you are good-hearted and powerful indeed. Thank you, Paimon, Traveler. I'm just someone who sometimes enjoys dreaming of lovely adventures and wonderful futures, but I know what happened in the past. I already know that there's no going back. In the real world, everything has already ended, so this is farewell. Anne, I'm sorry, Night Traveler, Paimon. It already started to feel like some things were off earlier in the adventure as you led me through the story track. I started to understand and recall some things. But I still want to rescue Princess Lyris. That is the reason for which I was born. I want to save her and bring the story to a happy end. I mean, I don't even know who she is. Only know that she is gentle, lovely princess, trapped due to Narcissus' invasion. Don't worry, Anne. At least, at least we had fun while traveling with the adventure team, right? Traveler, did you know that things would turn out this way? No, I thought we could help Anne. Oh. Well, if that's the case, we can still help Anne. Huh? Paimon didn't understand anything Marianne said there at the end. Did you, Anne? I did, sort of. I could sense that she was speaking of something terrible that happened in the past. Well, Paimon feels that that's unfair. Not just to you, Anne, but to us too. That's why we've got to find out what happened at least. If we do, we can come up with some sort of plan. Whether it be saving the princess or figuring out what Marianne said or whatever. We just want to help you, Anne. Isn't that right, Traveler? This story isn't over, Anne. We'll find a way. Okay. Still, if this is all just a story, then there's one thing Paimon doesn't get. What role do we play, Traveler? I can't be sure, but I think we're most likely an accident. And that's why we can bring the story to an end. Ah, Paimon gets it, so that's why Anne found us and brought us into the story. You might not have thought about it, Anne, but since we've been able to knock the story off course, that means we've opened all sorts of unknown possibilities. Isn't that right, Traveler? You could say that. I'm not going to do a sniffle. Thank you, Night Traveler. Thank you, Paimon. That's why we also need your help, Anne. And since we need to continue our adventure, well, can you think of anything that could help us figure out what to do next? Let me think. My memories contain a place known as Narzenren Cruz Ordo. This place appears to have very deep connections to past events. That's true. Narzenren Cruz Kingdom Adventure Team. Yeah, they seem connected all right. Do you have an idea where the Ordo might be? No. Oh, that's right. We're very experienced adventurers. If you need it found, we'll find it. Alright, so this quest line is now complete.
Why is there a chest here?
And I'll grab this. Okay, so... what's the mail? On my daily check-in. Nothing there. Alright, so that's going to be it for that quest line in this world quest. I think I might know where this continues because of something that I accidentally triggered for my friend One Snot. So remember when I went back in the one thing where that guy tried to trick us and kill us so he can steal our loot and stuff? And then I went back and there was this book thing I could travel through. I think that might be related to this. So that's going to be it for now, and I'll see you guys later.